Or so it's a little bit of snow. We've got certainly a little bit of the heavier snow out there right now, but eventually it does start to come to a close. And I would add in the potential that you could get a little bit of light lake effect snow in the mix as well. Live look from our Stark State College camera down in the Akron area. Snow still falling here, but you'll notice a couple of important things. One, that the snow is largely confined to just the grassy areas there off to the side of the road, and your road surfaces, while wet, are fine. A lot of traffic moving at a pretty steady pace. We haven't really seen a whole lot of slowdowns out there this evening. The other thing you're going to notice is a reduction in visibility, depending on how heavy some of that snow is coming down. This is mainly a concern still late tonight. If you know folks that are still going to be out and about, or maybe you have to head somewhere here in the short term, that's kind of where you run into some of those issues. But when you look off to the west, you don't see this snow continuing to backbuild. And what that's a sign of is the fact that you have some drier air that's starting to work in and eventually helps to eat away at more of that snow across our area and finally bring this to a close a little bit faster. So this is some of the heavier snow that you're seeing now, where you see some of those darker patches of blue. That's kind of where we're getting a little bit of the lake enhancement now at this point as this system continues to pull its way off towards the east. Outside of that, I mean, we're really not going to see a ton in additional snowfall accumulation tonight. A lot of this does come to a close here within the next couple of hours. I just can't rule out that once that wind turns out of the northwest, you don't add in a few clouds and that potential that you get a couple snow showers through the first half of the day tomorrow. Gradually, as we go through your Saturday, clouds start to clear out. And while, yes, it's going to be a sunny wrap up to your Saturday, temperatures are still going to be cooler because we're under the effect of that northwest wind. But eventually that starts to change direction the later we go through your Saturday. So by 7 p.m., everything's quiet. Temperatures are sitting about low to mid 30s, but we are waiting for another system to pass us by to the north. That, again, could give us a few snow showers into our primary snow belt through the overnight hours, Saturday into Sunday, likely wrapping this up pretty quickly early Sunday morning, to the point where I really just don't think we're going to see a lot in the way of additional snowfall accumulation. Maybe a couple areas that get a quick burst of snow and a quick trace or an inch of snow out to our primary snow belt, but that would be about it. And then anything that falls, it's going to quickly melt away Sunday afternoon. We did boost temperatures because I think with all this sunshine that we're going to have, especially on hand second half of the weekend, it's more than likely that you're going to start getting more of us hitting that 50-degree mark. So the sun's a bit more intense this time of the year than, say, where we were in January, and that helps to build in that higher temperature potential once you go into those afternoon hours. So we'll stay at 35 tomorrow. Again, a stray flake possible first thing in the morning. Otherwise, you get a lot of that sunshine in second half of the day. A couple clouds overnight, isolated flurry potential east, and then we're going to be back near 50 degrees as we head into the early part of this next week. So right now, we're kind of in this second winter period. I do think we're going to kind of get into this spring of deception through the next week or so. It's possible we see this pattern flip again as we approach the middle part of the month of March. You'll notice that when we bring in the double weekend, that we get a little bit of a dip in that temperature. A lot of longer range forecasts hint that we may get a little brush of some of that colder air once again, so we may not be done with it completely, but we are certainly starting to turn the page towards a more spring-like pattern, which means more days and more opportunities where we can see some 50s and 60s on the board. And I think that's really going to be what we have to look forward to the later and later we get through the month of March. As for this weekend, cold stay Saturday, big improvements once we get into Sunday.